with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Yep, we're on Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the podcast platforms. Tonight, this is the War Report episode Internet. So, um, there's a lot of news going on out there, and I'm not surprised that they're talking, about America controlling, basically the cyberspace, the internet, and that's how they would just, shut it off, and that would, solve everything because you wouldn't know what's going on in certain places. So it makes sense, right? For that to happen. Like the Y2K. Remember the Y2K? What was supposed to come, but it didn't happen. The Y2K was supposed to shut off all computer systems. So maybe there's something to this because the other day the FBI they got hacked by the Iranians. So it makes sense right now for especially America to be playing more on the internet more than ever. More censorship for sure, more watching you for sure, doing all types of stuff. I knew about this a long time ago, even from using Instagram lives, right? So, right now, a lot of people are making content on YouTube. YouTube is the new television, right? So, they're using YouTube or social media, Instagram, even TikTok, to spread the propaganda. It's not just television anymore, it's not cable anymore, but they're saying that, which, a lot of different people are saying the same thing. America controls everything in regards to communication, satellite technology. Um, they're the ones who just went into space recently. They said they went to space, they went somewhere. So they could control everything, see everything, know everything. And the internet is a major weapon if America is, on their control in everything, right? Remember, you got Bill Gates. Bill Gates is very powerful in the tech industry. Bill Gates been, talking to politicians for years and stuff like that. So this internet stuff, I don't know if a lot of people know. Who was it again? I forgot his name. The vice president who was with Trump. He introduced the internet. That was the early 90s, right? Introducing the internet really big to the American people, to the world. Um, the internet was the military first. Remember that. The internet was used by military and law enforcement agencies, or like, especially in America, to do their investigations. So Trump right now is fired Pam Bondi. That's what I'm hearing. Right? People, this is the war report. He fired her, but he's giving her a other position. Because remember the Epstein stuff. She was handling that and it didn't look too good when they were questioning her. So I'm not surprised that Trump is firing her from that position. I remember the other day he was saying a lot of the people around him are losers. So I don't know if he was talking about her, but he was calling people around him losers. So maybe she was one of them because he just fired her from her position, and now she's might have a other position. So he's doing all types of things. But recently, the U.S. military, because this is the war report, they hit one of the biggest or the biggest um, bridge in Iran. They hit one of the biggest bridges in Iran. I think they might have destroyed the whole thing. There's video of it of getting destroyed by America because that's what he's claiming. They're claiming they got rid of this bridge. So it's like, oh, when are you guys gonna give up? So I'm guessing whatever they hit, that bridge is very important to Iran. I don't know if there was anybody on that bridge when they blew it up, but there's footage on social media of this the biggest bridge getting built up, blown up. Bless up, OG Kicks. Yes, this is the war report. A lot of things is going on right now. A Good Friday is coming up, so look for a major event to happen again. They always do it on a special day, if you want to call it a special day, Good Friday. Today they blew up a bridge. Maybe tonight. It's still early. I think it's earlier right now in Iran. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're not finished with that campaign. So they blew up the biggest bridge in Iran. So they're going for all stuff what is very important for the regime right now. What's next? He's saying it's 3 weeks, weeks left. 3 weeks he will be having the military in Iran. 3 weeks. Remember, Trump said 3 weeks. So I'm going by his word that the war will be finished in 3 weeks. I'm going by his word right now, right? You just got to go by it because he's saying it. Even if you might not believe it, but let's go by Trump's word that in 3 weeks, America will be finished with Iran and all the troops could go home and it'll be all right, right? All the troops could just go home. Let's see if that happens. Hopefully that could happen for America because Trump is using a lot of Americans' tax dollars to fund this war. He might say it's the oil, but it's hurting American citizens 100%, right? It's hurting all over. The military is getting paid more, right? Right? The ICE is getting paid good salaries too. So at least he's putting down for the law. He's putting money in the law's pocket, right? So he got the military, right, doing all types of things all over America, with and all over the Middle East. Because remember, he wanted to call the National Guard for certain cities like Chicago. He wanted to bring the ICE with the military. This guy is doing a lot, but a lot of people support him. A lot of people support Donald Trump. Subscribe, people. Yes, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. This is the war report. A lot of people do support him. A lot of black Republicans. There is a lot of black Republicans, but some of them want to remain quiet. So I got that. I seen a lot of people in the chat who are really big supporters of Donald Trump. And then I'm starting to see more people actually express themselves against Donald Trump. I'm starting to see that now. So there's even people who used to support Trump who are turning against him because he's always changing up his mouth with a lot of things. So his latest thing, he's promising American people America will be finished with the war in 3 weeks, right? He says a lot of the oil, America has so much oil they don't need nobody, right? America has so much oil they don't need even the Middle East oil. That's how he was boasting. America has more oil than Russia. That's what he said. America has more oil than Russia. And I forget who else he put in there. So he was naming some other countries that America has so much oil. And then talking about Venezuela, right? So he's like, all the places that he has captured, especially Venezuela, he's using Venezuelan oil for the power. He's told people from the beginning, right? Like it or not, even if you hate Trump, he said it. He's going for Venezuela to help the American people. Realize that. There's no real good reason why he went to Venezuela. The only excuse he said he went to Venezuela for was not to save the people. It was not to save the people. He didn't give a shit about the people of Venezuela. It's all about the cartels. He says the cartels are bringing in drugs in America, and we got to stop these cartels. So the cartels are like the terrorists. It was time to. It was the time. This is the guy. he was gonna be the one to go to South America and take and fight the cartels. So he brought American military right there, kidnapped the president who was there and his wife. We still don't know what's going on with them, but he kidnapped those people, and now, right, Venezuela has a new government working with America. So he's good. He got the money for the people, right? Yeah, you got the money for the people, man. You got the money for the people. This is the war report, people. So Trump, right now, they're saying he has a low, all-time low or something, like in the polls, but he's doing all this stuff. Big attacks are coming. We're gonna hear some big things that some big risks America's gonna take, even more big risks because they're not giving up. They're not telling the truth. Really, Trump and the administration, they're not telling the full truth. They're saying what they have done, destroyed all these facilities and stuff. But in regards to communication, real communication for this regime to give up, they're not giving up. So the only option is like what Trump was saying. He has to terminate them. That's it. He's not. He must be going back to his word of what he said because he flip flop, right? Because he said negotiations. No, no. First he said we're not gonna negotiate. We're gonna make them surrender. There's no talking, no negotiation. They must surrender. That was the main beginning. They must all surrender. There's nothing. They're scumbags, right? You call them scumbags. You call them evil. All types of stuff. And then what shocked me a couple weeks ago, after he's saying, "Oh, we're doing a deal, we're working out a deal, we're doing some negotiations," and then after the other side, he's saying, "We're not negotiating nothing with Trump." So you're hearing these people, the ones who are really in charge, the ones who we have access to on the media, saying that nothing happened like that. What Trump is saying. So who are you believing? It's up to you who you want to believe, right? He called them every name in the book. Yes, he said all types of stuff about them. But now he's claiming this is what he has to, the story they told him to say probably that you're talking to some others who are not the supreme leader people. You're talking to some other people who are in charge, but it's not the supreme leader people. That's where he's going with. He's saying it's not the supreme leader people, it's some other people. So what he's saying that is the supreme leaders people ain't in charge. That's how he's saying it. They're not in charge. It's some other people. So just say that's real. Just say what he's saying is for real, that the people who America is talking to, right? They have more like power, and the people who were with the supreme leader, they something happened. Just say something happened. They're hurt. Remember, the guy got killed, right? Now they're saying the son took over, right? So the son took over, but you don't really see no video of him. You don't see nothing. You get what I mean? You don't see no video of this guy talking. You just hear audio. They said he was what? Uh, he got hurt, right? He's trying to create another distraction. Yes, I guarantee probably by tonight we're gonna hear of some distraction before Good Friday. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. Maybe it's going on right now as I speak. There's probably a distraction going on right now as I speak, but I know I could bet that by time where you say midnight tomorrow, something's gonna pop off. Historically, something's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm calling it. Remember what I'm saying. Something's gonna happen tomorrow. You see how he's like they blew up a bridge today. That's what I'm hearing in the war report recently. They blew up a bridge in Iran, and then he's basically saying he put out a threat. Trump put out a threat like now, basically you're gonna give in, you're gonna surrender now. See what I'm doing? I blew up a bridge, right? So I think I know what he's gonna do, and this is something where it's gonna be a tactic no one is ready for. Trump and these as they go doing this war. I wonder if this is the tactic they're gonna do. I'm calling it. They're gonna warn people in Iran, right, certain places, that they're gonna be blowing that shit up. Anything what's a major power or something like just to punish whoever is not giving up. They're gonna blow it up like how they blew up this bridge today. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna blow up the bridge, blow up more bridges, blow up whatever is valuable to the whoever is the people who ain't giving up. That's all it is. They're just gonna destroy everything. What if if they don't give up? But it seems like they're not gonna give up. That's why America's still fighting. They got to be honest. Got to be honest. They're not giving up the people. So you just got to eliminate them. He has to do exactly what he said from the beginning. He's got to have to say he's going to kill. Basically, he has to say he's going to terminate them. Just say that. Don't say no more deals. Stop talking about the deals and how he's negotiating because that's not happening. Just say you're terminating them. We're gonna find each and every one of the people part of the Revolutionary Guard and part of all of them. We're gonna eliminate all of them. That's what I want to hear. Don't say about negotiations because what's the point with the negotiations? You're leaving in somebody you don't really know who it is, or a civil war. So if America leaves, yes, America could leave, but you're gonna leave a civil war because the person you claim you're talking to, America, you're gonna still have. They're still gonna want your protection. They're still gonna want your help to fight the resistance. What you kind of damaged all their shit. So the resistance is the supreme leader people. They still probably will have access to weapons to fight whoever America is supporting. They're gonna still have it. It's gonna be like a new Israel and a whatever Palestine shit going on. I'm sure Putin is helping behind the curtains. Yeah. Oh, now that you're saying that, that goes over a lot of people's heads. Russia. And as much as they talk about war and stuff, and people, you see different pages, content makers talking about conspiracies and maybe Russia or China, but for real, Russia's been talking in the last couple of days. They've been Putin said something, and now recently, I don't know if it's just rumor and there's fake and real news. They're saying if America brings ground troops, was to bring ground troops, Russia would step in to help Iran even more. You get what I'm saying? So Russia doesn't like that America's in Iran. Let's make that clear. Russia doesn't like that America's in Iran, and no one is really clarifying that until you see Putin go on something like 60 Minutes or some other American platform and speak his mind. I want to see that. I'm waiting for that. That's going to go viral. That's going to go viral when you hear he already put out his opinions, but interesting just to go on of an American platform and see Donald Trump respond. So far, Donald Trump hasn't talked about Russia. He hasn't talked anything bad about Russia, right? When Russia wants its oil or whatever they do their business, America so far has not really interfered with Russia. Ask yourself why, MAGA people. MAGA people, why is Trump so nice to Putin? Do you and people want to disassociate them from each other, but he's nice to Putin, right? He hardly says anything bad about Putin. I'm noticing this. And Putin, when you hear him talk, if you don't do your research, he doesn't talk good about America. Putin doesn't talk good about America. I never really hear him talk good about America. Even they, they have I've seen content of him talking translations. This guy doesn't have nothing really good to say and how he thinks about America. But Trump never says anything bad, too bad about Russia. That's bad. So you gotta look on that. Doesn't really say anything bad about Russia because he has some investments in Russia, man. He's not promoting that. I'm hearing where he got a hotel even in Saudi Arabia. I believe that probably a long time ago. He has hotels in Saudi Arabia. So that's why he's also in this war, right? Right? That's why he's in this war. It's benefiting him a lot. You got to protect his real estate for the next 3 years. You got to protect his real estate in Saudi Arabia and some other places. Definitely. And you know what? He don't care. He'll probably even tell people that, the American people. This guy's he's gonna say whatever he wants. He already made up his mind how he's going about the business. He looks tired though. Trump does look tired now. I can admit that. He looks tired. Donald Trump looks tired. He looks like he's almost burnt out. I'm calling it this, and it might be crazy, a conspiracy or whatever you want to say, but I think Vance and whoever's with Vance is wishing for Donald Trump downfall. You get what I'm saying? I think Vance, right? Because Trump is old. Vance is very young compared to Trump. He's hoping that Donald Trump burns out. He wishes Donald Trump burns out. Vance, I'm talking about Vance. He loves this. So in his mind, I'm saying, wait a minute, 3 more years. Will this guy be able to do all this action 3 more years? He's 80 basically. No, he loves this. He's thinking maybe in 2 years he could be a president. He could take over as the president for a year before Trump's, because Trump might be sick. Just if Trump is sick, just say Trump has to go to the hospital. He got a flu, what knocked him out. He has to be in the hospital. You know who takes over? Vance. Think of it. Who takes over if Trump is weak? It's Vance. That guy is the guy. He is the guy who is deadly, even more destructive than any Donald Trump. Donald Trump's just the face. That Vance kid, get ready, because that's gonna happen. JD Vance, he's gonna put down his style, how he's the president, playing Donald Trump at the end. If I can see Putin playing Donald Trump in the end, yeah, Putin been plotting a long time, but this is what's going on. America going to Iran in this fashion pissed off China and Russia, because obviously they were really helping supply. Well, Russia already has oil, right? China, I think, is the beneficiary of Iran. So Iran and China have a real, I think, a serious relationship, because China, they produce this rare earth which is very valuable all around the world. And then Iran has the gas and the oil what could help power China. So China's angry right now. They're very angry, and Venezuela was one of theirs also. So all of this stuff what's going on, it's affecting other countries like China and Russia. They got a lot of oil too, but Russia is in the mix with Iran, right? Did Letitia James get her money? Letitia James. Who's Letitia James? Let me know who she is, man. I don't even know if she got her money. Is that a lady Donald Trump dealt with? All I know, he fired Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, right? She lost her job and she might get another job. This guy, he likes to play the apprentice. He's playing the apprentice and the president at the same time. I wonder how he done Pam Bondi. You're fired, right? Remember the show Apprentice? He loves to say that shit. Imagine Donald Trump's on the phone with to the girl, or maybe he was there. I don't know, but he's saying he had the pleasure of saying she's fired like The Apprentice. Charges against for real estate fraud. Oh, yeah, some story I was hearing about. I think I was reading about that the other day, right? Yeah, that's the stuff they're hiding. They're okay. That story, what you're saying, I was talking about the other night. There's a story out there regarding Donald Trump, and that story, and that's getting shadow banned big time. 250 million real estate front. Yes, you're right. And you know what? Glad you brought that up, Prince Cashew. You know that story is getting freak, like it's there, but it's getting like whatever they're doing, they're filtering that shit out because that involves him, man. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. It involves him. You see, and the Epstein stuff too is coming out more. But yeah, man, it's dangerous. I'm telling you, I could see it even on social media as I'm talking right here on the YouTube. People bring up the likes if you can. Please subscribe. I seen for real. It's no joke with the censorship and how they're trying to like certain stories is for real. They will they will make it not go through like that one. What you're talking about with the lady? Yeah, I heard about it, but Donald Trump's involved in things, but that's a story what should be viral, you think. But no, nope, nope. There's a story involving Donald Trump, courts and all types of stuff with fraud. But and it's coming up. But no one's really talking about that. He got the country on a grip. He got the country on a grip. That's the story, and I'm really glad you brought it up to remind me. I wanted to even talk about because he's involved, and because he's the president and all this shit what he's doing, it makes him kind of like untouchable now. He's like untouchable. It's not gonna really a lot of shit's gonna hit when he's finished his term. When he's finished his term, that's still a long time, yo. 3 years. He still got a good. This man has 3 years left. So are they gonna try to use that to impeach him? They're trying a lot of stuff to take this man out. I have to admit, man. Like him or not, people bring up the likes if you can. Please subscribe. They're trying a lot of things, man, against Donald Trump. I have to admit, anything to take him out, impeach him, uh, even if some was stage, assassinate him a couple times, not just one time, not just two times, not just three times, maybe four times they tried to assassinate this man so far. So yeah, this man's gonna keep going and going until he's, you know, gone into the grave to 6 feet deep. And you know what? That man Vance, I just see this guy, he doesn't mind Donald Trump burning himself out because that'll give him the spotlight to be the acting president, Vance. But that story, what you're saying, see, it's like the Epstein file shit. No one's talking about the certain things of new development like the Epstein stuff. There's this fraud stuff. What's going on? His distraction creates excuses not to focus. And yes, allegedly, yeah, he's a good distraction person though. This is what's making certain people crazy because he 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 this is him. This is his style. He knows how to distract. This man worked in the media for years, man. He's been media trained from a long time. So you're not dealing with just this normal president. You're dealing with a man who's media trained and a businessman and a man who knows how to extort because he has extorted. There's so much stories I could tell you how he extorted his style of threats. He has a style and it's working. He does have a style and it's been working for him. So he keeps going and going. He's cocky, right? The way how he talks, especially yesterday on his speech. When you heard it, have you heard the speeches? When he's doing these speeches, he's repeating the words what he's saying. He's very, really passionate about what he's saying. Trump, right? Passionate, and how he's passionate how the military is going, and how he's passionate how he will destroy whoever who don't. I'm talking about the military destroying the Revolutionary Guard, and man, he's a lot, Mr. Donald Trump. People, please like, subscribe, bring up the likes if you can. But this is the war report, man. In recent news, they blew up a bridge. Donald Trump was talking about that, I think maybe on his Truth Social. Yeah, probably on his Truth Social. He put that out there that, yeah, you guys are going to surrender. Basically, he's saying, will you surrender? I don't know why Donald Trump is not realistic, right? And not really telling the American people that it's not that easy. The 90 million people, it's not like I gotta keep saying this because it's not like 3 million people. It's 90 million people. Imagine that. A big percentage of America, right? They have a pretty big country still. 91 or 92 million. The majority of those people are living good right now. They're not getting bombed. I hope you know. What America's blowing up is mostly military facilities, right? And power plants or and they're searching for nuclear sites, which they have found. They blew up uranium sites, blew up military sites, blew up anything what is a threat. So there's millions of people living normal lives all around Iran. Meanwhile, this is going on in Tehran, right? I don't know the population of Tehran, but majority of the country they live other places, and it's 90 million people. So the threat is, which America doesn't really want to do, is knock out full power because there's so much people. You can't knock out 90 million people's power. Imagine if 90 million people in America lost power, right? That's why I'm talking about um, this man with the internet, right? For example, if you lost the internet now, we couldn't communicate, right? A lot of stuff couldn't be used for emergencies. Like you can't call the police. You couldn't. Yeah, people have cell phones now, right? So you can't call the police. Um, anything you use your phone for to communicate in your life right now. You have children, you probably have a phone. You work, you have a phone. Um, and then the computer systems that control security systems would be gone. So a lot of things would be different, right? So Iran, I'm hearing they're saying Iran may have had what knockouts recently. Like a lot of the internet in Iran is not going on. So that is part of the war, right? If Satan the deceiver, what does that makes Trump? He is. I see Mike Snyder. What you saying, man? What you saying? Join in the chat. People, bring up the likes. Please subscribe. Yeah, you're right. I like that. What you said there. Yeah, Trump for sure is deceiving some people, right? Not all people, but he's deceiving a percentage of people to believe in everything what he says, and I can't. And that's bad because it's like he's telling you straight up, right? And he doesn't give a shit. He's called his supporters losers or people around him. The people around him are the people who supposed to support him. I'm guessing, right? So if he's saying people around him, a lot of them are losers and shit, damn. So this man is the biggest narcissist and control freak. So right now he wants to control all the oil he can have right now. And he was talking in his speech. about his friends. You know who he said his friends were? And he's smart. He's a smart businessman. Saudi Arabia, he was saying Qatar, who else? Kuwait, all the countries with the oil where the American military bases are. He's saying they are his friends, right? And Israel is a friend too. So you gotta see this shit. Like, it's all about the money. Let's be straight up. It's all about the money. Because if America is friends with the Saudis and the people from Qatar and all that shit, I mean Trump, right? Friends with all of them. And then he's friends with Israel. Those are Muslims and the Jews. America is friends with both sides, but they're fighting these radicals, if they want to call it radicals, who are from not in that club, and they're taking them out, right? Delusional people, they're taking them out. But a lot of people do support what Trump's doing. And then I'm hearing people in the military, right? The American military, some of them, they don't really want to go where Trump is sending them to, but they have no choice. You have no choice if you're in that situation and you're in the American military. This is where what you signed up for. So Trump is sending thousands. Well, I'm hearing there's about 50,000 American service people in the Middle East. 50,000, right? So, like I'm saying, hopefully or Trump fully takes all of these threats from the supreme leader or the Revolutionary Guard away, make sure they can't do anything like he claims that now they can't build any nuclear weapons or they can't develop any nuclear weapons. Uh, Yesterday, I heard in his speech, he says he's gonna by three after 3 weeks, they will be back to the Stone Age, right? He said in 3 weeks they'll be back into the Stone Age. So if they're back into the Stone Age, then he'll be more comfortable to say victory because he's already saying victory, right? So yeah, so he's saying like 3 weeks they'll back in the Stone Age, and then they'll leave. But is that gonna solve the problems in Iran? He don't give a damn, and he don't want to do no nation building. You don't want to do no nation building. What he done in Venezuela was different. They kidnapped the president. They didn't really do too much bombing. There's no fight, if you want to call it. There's no fight. They just saw America and probably didn't. They just he didn't get that same support. That president there was probably new time was up. What's his name? Forgot his name again. The Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro. He probably was already talking with America for a while, right? I don't trust that situation in South America. It's kind of very suspect. There's a lot more things going on over there. But in regards to Iran, they want that this is just revenge from 40 something years ago. America and Iran now is back at it, full war. This is what Trump wanted. He wanted this war and the real estate. It's right next to Iraq. They already got Iraq, right? He took all the troops. He said I think he said that in his first term. That was his mission, to take out a lot of the troops out of Iraq. Now they're probably back. They got one of the main bases. I swear they got a base in Iraq. America already developed themselves in Iraq. So they're already close by to Iran. They're coming from Iraq straight into Iran when they do their things. But other countries, they wanted to use their bases and they said, no, you can't use our bases. A lot of countries said no to America. A lot of European countries said no to America. So Trump is angry with a lot of the European countries, right? That's why he's saying F NATO. He doesn't care about NATO, right? No care about NATO, Donald Trump. That's why he said screw NATO, and he's talking a lot about all of Europe, talking a lot about them, saying you guys are gonna have to, you know, pay your own way, right? If they're taking over the Strait of Hormuz, if they're taking over the Karg Island, he's saying you guys gonna have to pay your own. You guys gonna have to pay for it. So, like I'm saying, Donald Trump can't expect. He shouldn't expect the rest of the world to come help him after all the stuff he's been doing with the terrorists. He should just do his thing, make the American military he put out there finish their mission. But I doubt it's going to be 3 weeks. I don't think 3 weeks it's going to be. It's going to be a couple years. Just be realistic to the American people and just tell them it will be a couple years when that happens. More wars going to be coming. Civil wars is going to come out of this. Or America's gonna still be involved. He was naming in his speech the other day when he was talking, right? Donald Trump, he was saying how long each war was. He was comparing. He went back all the way to World War I, World War II, and then he was talking about the Korean War, the Vietnam War, right? He was talking about, and then talked about the Iraq War, and said how long each one was, right? And now he's basically saying this one won't even be close to that. I'll finish this off very fast, right? Trump is a brilliant leader. Well, if you feel Trump is a brilliant leader, then that's all right, man. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people disagree. A lot of people disagree. He's a brilliant leader for himself. That's what I believe. Donald Trump is a brilliant leader for himself, right? Because it's helping him for his business when he's finished being the president. It's helping for his sons so they could have a better future when he's gone. He's setting it up, and he's making sure he is protecting his investments in the Middle East, securing that, take out the supreme leader and those guys, all those what is called extremists. He's making sure he's cleansing it so his children will have investments. Yes, meaning you're not getting cookies. Trump's the king, peace warrior of the world. He's the peace. Trump is the king and the warrior of the world. Damn, man, I have to give it, man. Donald Trump has some die-hard fans, man, or supporters. People bring up the likes, please subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, yeah, you're not getting cookies. You guys are jokers, yo. Peace warrior. Yeah, yeah. Peace warrior he says he's he's the king and peace warrior of the world. He's the king. Which king? What king is Donald Trump, man? He's the king of America. He has a cult following, I must say. I must say he has a cult following. Slick nice. He said peace warrior. Peace warrior, but he's the king. He's the king. But man, if you think he's the king, you think he is. Imagine that. But right now, he's like, to me, he's just like a puppet right now. Because, like I said, Vance is the one he was saying was telling him to go into this war. He was speaking recently saying is Vance and Rubio, and he was pointing fingers when, seeing that it's going bad. He's saying they're the ones who wanted to go to war. He's not the one who wants to go to war. So that's why he's saying 3 weeks. The 3 weeks, what he's saying, which seems ridiculous. It's him being angry to say that, yo, I don't want to be here for a month, for months and another year. I don't want to keep have to dealing with this type of war stuff. Let's get over with it in 3 weeks. But Vance is like in behind. Trump is like, this guy, 3 weeks. He thinks we're gonna really get all the soldiers out in 3 weeks. This guy's ridiculous. That's what Vance is saying. Yo, do you hear this guy? He thinks 3 weeks we're gonna be pulling out all these people. Vance is the guy. He disagreed recently. He says they need to keep their foot on the necks of whoever's there until all of them are like basically exterminated. He's not in or negotiate. I don't know if that's gonna work. Apparently, you can get 10 people to read a scripture in the Bible. Each one is going to have a different interpretation. Yes, you're right. You're right. Everybody has a different interpretation. That's what's going on right now, right? With the religion, like, Muslim, Jewish, the list goes on, right? But all I know, Mr. Trump is telling people, or he's a good talker, and he knows how to work the crowd, right? You see how he talks when he does his speeches, and what he wants total control. He doesn't want no one telling him anything. The way how you see him is how you're gonna get him, and man, good luck. Slick Rick, you don't have a picture out of touch with reality. Okay, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true, James Hickey. Right? That's true. You say what you saying, Prince Cashew? You talking to Sick Nick? You don't have a picture out of touch with reality. So he's saying, yeah, you calling him like what? The king? The king? Come on, man. That's a little extra. To call Trump the king, right? This man's just a businessman who turned president, or they put him in that position, right? Yeah, they put him in that position. But this is the war report, the internet. This is what I wanted to talk about. They're saying that America controls 97%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna look it up again. 97% of the internet is controlled by America. That's most of the entire internet. So that's why I believe when people are saying, "Oh, America could be threatened by a nuclear weapon," it's not going to happen, and that's a big debate. Much respect, Robert Fudge. That's a big debate. People are thinking, "Oh, America could get hit with this and hit with that." No, I don't. I don't think that will ever happen because unless there's some great hackers, that's the only way it would happen. The hackers would have to hack the American systems to turn on themselves. That's the only way. That's the new form of war. And I think that's the most scariest part. What may that may come. I'm calling it that. That is how the new age war is going to happen. The computer systems being taken over by an entity what is foreign, right? You don't need no nuclear weapons. You don't need no soldiers. All you need is the control of the system. So whoever controls the system will control everything. And they're saying America controls 97% of the internet. So if America controls 97% of the internet, that means it could shut down all the internet and just probably keep a certain percentage to itself, America. And then you could really do some things. Imagine the rest of the world that couldn't use the internet. It was only like one or two countries, or maybe a few countries, right? A club, maybe just say, for example, 20 countries, they're the only ones with the internet. All the rest of the world can't use it. Or maybe let's cut down the list. There's only 10 countries what could use the internet. All the rest can't use it. So that means their power systems and all their control, whatever control systems what rely on the internet will not work. That would hurt a lot of infrastructure all over the world. America could do that with a press of a button, I believe. People might say it's crazy, but yes, they're the same idiots that freestyle everything else that's out of touch. I think that will happen. Yeah, because Y2K, you remember Y2K? Remember Y2K? People forget. Y2K was causing people to, like, get like very scared, right? I remember right before the year 2000, they said God is coming, Jesus is coming back after 2000 years. That was the talk. Or Y2K, the internet, all the internet is going to be shut off because when they started the internet, there was a certain number, it would go up to 1999, and they didn't make the system to go past 1999, so it'll go back to year zero, and everything was shut off. Remember that? I'm about to tell you. Maybe I repeat it. They had this shit. This was when I was younger. I remember this is where they're scaring people. Said, oh, 1999, or going to 2000. Let me correct myself. 1999, going to the 2000, right? That was a big, big shit because the Y2K, what they're putting out there to scare people, would shut everything off. They actually had a lot of people believing, yo, the Y2K is coming. It's gonna shut everything off. The 2000. I should do a documentary on this shit. I think I am gonna do a documentary because some people forgot that shit. I remember I was just like 20, right? So the Y2K was supposed to come. It didn't come. Remember, they're scaring people. This is before social media was really big. The internet wasn't as big in what 19 in the late 90s. It was still like, new to certain people. Computers were still expensive for a computer, right? So before the 2000s, people were getting their computers and shit more. But when they said 2000 hit, Y2K, everything shut off. It didn't happen. 2001 came. You know what happened in 2001? 9/11. 9/11 happened. Think of it. 2001, something big happened what changed the world. And that was this whole thing linked to terrorism and all linked to now what's going on. So these people, right, who they call cells. And if America is fighting and to take over, fully control economically from Iran and those people who've been benefiting for so long, going to be angry. And they know about technology like the internet. You don't think they're going to use the internet to fight against America? This is 2026. It's not back in the days anymore where it's just these people are going to go into some place with a bomb and blow up. They don't need to do that anymore. All they need to do is control a system. Hackers. Hackers have disabled many institutions. There's been hackers. They don't tell you. You just gotta look it up, right? There's YouTube. There's been hackers who have hacked many systems and have robbed or stolen a lot of money. So, and control security systems. So, imagine what they could do. These hackers have hacked the FBI just last week. They hacked the FBI, the hackers from Iran. They hacked the FBI, the main guy, right? It's another day. I was only 2 years old in 2000. You're young. Yeah, man. Yeah. About the tactics and adult. Yeah, yeah. Back then, I remember I was young too, but I'm a OG. I remember I was young, right? I had my twins those time about 2000. So 2001, right? 9/11 comes. The world was scared when that happened. People were scared to go on the planes and shit for a while. They were getting more strict on searching people at the airports. They were having terror alerts. It would be like red, different levels. They believe that there's a terror threat here, there's a terror threat there. Do people remember that shit? They used to have these terror threats. People forgot about that. That was for a while. They had these threats, these level threats of maybe terrorists, some type of thing, a warning. Now it's disappeared. Remember, they had terror threats. They used to be warning people, oh, the terror alert could be up here, or the terror alert is here. So now, fast forward 2026 now, that might happen in a different way now. It's going to be the internet. And I believe it's happening right now. I believe these guys, this group where Cash Patel says he's been shutting down their sites. I believe this group, what they're doing, they're trying to access more Americans. They're trying to access a lot of Americans. That's what's going on. That's the weapon. That's think of it. That if you can't win the physical war, you could win the technical war maybe. And I guarantee they're trying to hack American systems, even institutions. They don't have to go to the big guy, but they already went to the big guy. It was Cash Patel. That was just a warning, right? That was a warning. They went to Cash Patel and exposed his video of him dancing up like a damn fool, right? I don't know if you seen that video. They hacked his stuff. They had him dancing up, showing like he's a damn fool. They had pictures, but they just exposed it. So they're saying they're threatening, saying if we could get this guy shit, what else can we get? We could get more shit to expose. If any of you who's some American representative, right? If any of you we got this, and we'll release it to make people see who's the government. It wasn't anything too bad what Cash Patel what they discovered, but kind of embarrassing. And then now this Pam Bondi, I'm wondering why Trump fired this lady. Really, what I kind of understand, but why did he really fire this lady? Because maybe she got some dirt. Maybe he wants to fully get rid of her, right? Especially after 9/11, which unleashed things we're seeing now. Yeah, I seen it from that time. From that time, right? And this is before I had the platform Down to Earth. I was talking about this stuff, and I'll tell people because it's authentic. I was talking the same shit, if not more, right? When I was 20 about all of this shit. It didn't change. From 2001, when those towers came down and all this stuff was going on with the so called terrorists, I was already, if you want to call it third eye, knew about this shit. Maybe because my pops and I used to talk to elders about the world and shit. This before the social media was big. And I was doing my research, reading books and shit, and seeing the lies of the world. I'm not surprised. Like all this stuff, what's going on, is old. I seen this coming. That's why I'm down to earth now to tell you this. It's not shit I need to read up on line and shit from 1996. From I was like 16, even before. I was always into media and seeing what's going on with these different politicians and wars and international events. And Donald Trump, I remember seeing Donald Trump from when way back. So there's other content makers, you'll come on here, they might get more views and stuff, but they're just getting everything what they see on social media. Some of them, they don't have no history or interest that I know, and I know more of what was going on. For example, the first Iraq War, I mean, the second Iraq War, when they were showing that on CNN, and this is before Instagram was big and social media was really big. Imagine if we had that then. It would expose a lot of shit which is getting exposed now. It was kind of like a joke. I remember, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I remember they had Colin Powell and a couple of the people from the government that time with, and this is Bush's time. They had they're they're putting out why they're going to Iraq. They're pleading their case. They're in a room, a big screen, and they're saying why they have to go to Iraq, right? So in the presentation, they're saying Iraq had weapons in a factory, Iraq had weapons in a grocery store, like these I think they're supposed to be the weapons of mass destruction. Iraq had weapons in trucks, these weapons of mass destruction in trucks, and they had all these pictures, right? And after a while, when they went there, and it was years after, and then Bush was finished and the other president came in, no one ever found these weapons of mass destruction. No one ever found the weapons of mass destruction after that whole presentation. Why they what they put out there, they put it out there that this is what they have, but there was no proof they had. This is some shit they made up illustration that they have. They didn't show what's called radar. They didn't show how they have surveillance, and they'll show you now on social media what they blew up. They didn't show nobody anything like that on CNN or on television that time, that they have pictures of the facilities like they're showing you now. They had these illustrations, what they're showing people that they have this shit. And guess what? 25 years later or so, no weapons of mass destruction. Salute. Much respect, Jonathan Thompson. 25 years later, that should be a war crime. No weapons of mass destruction was found in Iraq. And I remember watching CNN those times, me and my father, and how they pleaded their case that Saddam is the axis of evil, and how he has nuclear. If we don't stop them, the same shit what this guy's saying right now. If we don't stop them, they're gonna use these nuclear weapons and shit like that. They used it before on Iran. I think he said something like that too. They used it before on them because they were enemies, right? So a lot of the shit now, what is going on right now, is nothing new. They just recycled it. Because when Bush was out, a lot of people didn't like Bush too. So when he was doing his thing, he was going hardcore on Iraq. He hit Iraq hard. Believe me, the second time when they went back to Iraq, they they took all of the Ba'ath Party, all that military, they buried them fully. Saddam, he got hanged and shit like that, and then they they just took it out. That's why America controls Iraq. They ain't fooling me. I didn't forget about that because it didn't go it's not viral still on the internet. America took over Iraq a long time ago. They own that place. They own that place. What are you saying, RT? What are you saying? They own that place right now. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Put you out for 10 minutes. Yeah. So, the war report, the latest action in the Middle East or Iran, they blew up a bridge. Blew up a bridge. Oh, RT, you want to speak, but you can't. Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff if you can. Support the platform. This is the War Report. Donald Trump, the internet. The internet is something definitely they are filtering out. That's why he owns TikTok. Or not saying he owns TikTok, but he made the Chinese, sell that company, the owner. made the owner of TikTok sell a big percentage of the company to an American company. It's called Orion. So that is an example of control of a social media platform, probably one of the biggest, one of the most popular ones, which is TikTok. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. The internet is a powerful thing to control. If you control it, you control basically everything, right? Because it controls a lot of things what have to deal with power and infrastructure. Without the internet, there's no communication. You can't do basically anything, right? But yeah, bless up, subscribe to the platform. I'm out.